Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. I am Adam and this is Battle of the Beasts New Generation, episode number 13. Unlucky number 13, but also the halfway point of round 1. So after this battle we will have 13 beasts that are through to round 2. The question is though, has the winning beast already battled? Or have they yet to battle? We'll find out. But anyway, let's see the matchup. So, first up, we got Skalix the Snapping Horror versus Menox the Saber-Toothed Terror. Okay, I just got a comment from my latest video. Okay. Yeah, thanks for saying my name. It's like you knew my name, even though it's the name of my channel. So, yeah. But, so it seems like it's going to be a sword versus a shield here, or sword versus a mace. It seems like it's going to be an interesting battle. But first, well, I think you know what I'm going to say. So, everyone, in 3, let's get to the stats.
Skalix, the Snapping Horror. Skalix's broad, muscular body is armored with black scales, and his teeth are as sharp as daggers. His tail ends in a great club, spiked with bony knives, making it difficult for a quester to have any line of attack against the monstrous Ankylo beast.
Menox, the Saber-Toothed Terror. Anyone captured by the pirates of Mackay is at risk of being tossed into the pit to fight this gigantic rat, whose mangy fur gives off a terrible stench. His dagger-like tooth is as long as Tom's sword, and made of the same red metal as his cruel claws. So, you can be sure you're in for quite a surprise in this battle.
3, 2, 1!
Skalix versus Menox. Let's get into this. There we are. Bit better, a bit more space for me. Skalix versus Menox. Let's get into this. So, as both the chamber doors open, Menox scurries out of the chamber into the centre of the arena and looks around. He sees a pair of glowing white eyes just appearing from the other side of the arena. Then a very steady beating thump coming out, and out emerges Skalix, swinging his tail around like he just doesn't care. Menox charges up to Skalix, ready to pounce and attack Skalix. Skalix sees that and straight away goes to snap at Menox. Menox pulls back from his jump and lands just in front of Skalix, and Menox backs away out of Skalix's reach just to be on the safe side. Skalix turns round and swinging his tail. Menox sees that and goes to dodge it, gets back up and sees it coming back again, and he gets hit by it, knocking him straight into the arena wall, causing cracks to appear everywhere on that wall. Menox gets back up and charges back towards Skalix. Skalix still swinging his tail. Menox dodges it and jumps onto Skalix's back. He pries his nails underneath Skalix's shell just to pull at it, and it's a bit tough, but when he eventually does it, he pulls it off, and using his saber tooth, he bites into Skalix's back. Skalix roars, shakes violently, and charges straight into the arena wall on his back, smashing Menox against the wall. Menox released his grip off Skalix. Skalix gets back onto all fours, snaps at Menox. Menox able to dodge it except for his tail, which gets bitten off immediately. And then Skalix swings back his tail to hit Menox directly in the head, knocking him backwards into the arena wall, making some small cracks. Back comes the tail again. Menox sees that though and ducks out of the way, only to be greeted by it coming back to him a bit lower this time, and Menox tries to jump up to avoid it, but he's too slow and gets swept off his feet, where he gets knocked down to the ground. Skalix lifts his tail up and brings it down like a hammer. Menox sees that and rolls out of the way, and then gets up and scurries away to get away from this beating that he's trying to be given. Skalix turns around, roars in fury, vowing that he will get this Menox. Menox charges back up towards Skalix, and Menox jumps up to get onto Skalix's back again. However, Skalix saw that, swung his tail up, and just batters Menox over Skalix's head, knocking him into the arena wall again. Skalix makes his way towards Menox, who's trying to regain himself, and by the time Menox does regain himself, he's looking directly into Skalix's eyes, who snaps at him. He backs away and slashes at both of Skalix's eyes. Skalix roars in pain and fury, stomping his feet so much, where it's causing an earthquake to appear in the stadium, where Menox is losing his balance and trying to get back up, but still struggling to keep his balance. But when he eventually does and stands back up, he's greeted by a tail of Skalix being greeted directly at his face. He's too slow to react to it and gets hit directly in the face, knocking him back down to the ground. And then when he gets back up, he's greeted by it coming around the other side. And Menox decides to stay down just for the time being, because Skalix seems to be spitballing here. And then what Menox just started noticing that Skalix is steadily swinging his tail going downwards. Menox realises he needs to get up and get away as quick as he can. And what he does is that he gets up, jumps onto Skalix's back, where he starts prying at the scales connecting Skalix's tail to his body. Skalix is shaking around trying to get Menox off. Menox is keeping his grip steady, and Skalix realises that he's going to need to try and get Menox off the way that he only knows how, by knocking him off. So whilst Menox is prying at the scales, getting them off, which he eventually does, and going at it, Skalix swings his tail with all his might into the arena wall, smashing it completely, causing the rubble from above to fall down on top of Menox. Menox sees that, covers his head, and gets hit repeatedly over and over again. And then Skalix moves his tail further out of the arena, swings his tail, knocking it into the extra parts of the arena wall, and the part of the tail that Skalix is hitting with the arena wall is where Menox is on. Menox gets off of Skalix, clutching his arm covered in bruises and all that, and Skalix is still swinging his tail violently, trying to get Menox. Menox goes to decides that he's going to need to try and make Skalix bleed out, and to do that he needs to go underneath Skalix's head just to slice his neck. Menox goes to do that using his tooth to bite down on Skalix's neck, only to be greeted by some tough scales there. However, Skalix felt that, swings his headbutting him, knocking him down to the ground, and Skalix opens his mouth as wide as he can and chomps down towards Menox. Menox's body wasn't harmed, but unfortunately Menox's tooth got caught in that, and Skalix snaps Menox's tooth right off him. Menox gets back up, feeling the pain, clutching onto his saber tooth, and by the time he got back up, he's greeted by a tail knocking him directly into the arena wall. But this time it was already pre-cracked one, where he goes straight through it, lands to the ground, and by the time he regains himself, looks up and sees a bunch of the wall that was above him just collapsing down on top of him. Skalix heard that, makes his way towards the rubble, using his tail, brings it up and smashes it down on top of the rubble, smashing Menox, which was in the rubble. So Skalix has won, Menox has lost. If you think Menox should have won, please in the comments below why you think that. But unfortunately, my word is final, and Skalix is through to the next round. So with this fight, it was basically a sword versus a shield, and if you had to choose between a sword or a shield, I'll pick the shield easily. I'd rather defense over attack, but as Skalix had defense and attack on his side, whereas Menox only had attack, it was a recipe for disaster for Menox. There was no way he was going to win that. He tried to take care of Skalix's tail, but due to the tough scales that is on him, it became a lot harder. And also, due to the tough scales pretty much all over Skalix, even if he's blind, he can still attack. So with that being said, Menox has lost. There was no way he's going to win that. And with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press that notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.